they call this being so many names in the Vedas, in the Upanishads, like Vishvatma, the soul of the universe, right? Or Vishva this, Vishva that, always, in relation to the universe, Vishvarupa. Yeah. So here we're seeing that the universe is inside Krishna, that he is that person, he is that original Purusha who envelops the universe from all sides. It's right in his tiny little mouth, It's his energy that's maintaining the universe. And so, but it's coming out, in those previous texts, it was like with this awe and, like all these sages chant those prayers with their palms folded, in this very formal way. And here's Mother Yaśoda, and she's like, come, let me look in your mouth. Did you do something wrong? Bad boy, right? And so here he is not being presented as like Vishnu or like all powerful, but as like just an incredibly beautiful, but naughty, silly, mischievous, problematic little boy that everybody's complaining about. But he's got the universe right in his mouth. It's Krishna all along. And so on that level, it's clever. It's tying us back to these earlier Vedic texts and giving us the conclusion. This is why this is the commentary on Vedānta Sūtra, because it's filling it all out and helping us understand what and who we were talking about when we had all those in all those earlier texts. And then it's going beyond that, because it's giving us this element of rasa, that when you realize that Krishna should be the object of my devotion, then you could enter into these states of awareness where you experience the deepest bliss in love. And so Mother Yaśoda, she's entirely focused on the origin of the universe right now, more than any other yogi is. But she's feeling waves of ecstasy and love for Krishna, no matter what he's doing. It's always attractive. So now she's going to look in there, and she's seen. What does she see? She saw all the stuff that these texts talk about, like all these texts that break down the whole Sankhya thing, right? There's the three modes of material nature, the desires. There's the water, light, air, sky. There's the earth, water. There's all the Mahabhutas.
And there's yogis that just study those things. They study those things to realize what we are and what we are not.
Yeah.
And these are all, even these very subtle things, like the modes of material nature, the desires. They're all subtle material things. They're all contained in a little baby's mouth.
and she just doesn't know what to make of it.
People who study those, they're like deep philosophers, right?
Yeah, it's right there.
Now it's going to be
that sweet little mouth.
Sweet little mouth.
Open it up.
Let's get into this.
Okay.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, New York, Kostu Badas. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome back. I keep on saying daily spiritual podcast by force, but we're not daily anymore. We had to recalibrate.
But there's no term that weekly does not do it.
Weekly doesn't do it. We're not a weekly podcast. We're much more
than a weekly podcast.
Maybe we're just a podcast. Maybe we're just a podcast.
Daily
it had a ring to it. Yeah. Or maybe it just had a ring to it because we said it every day. What if we just say a podcast?
You say with enough enthusiasm, I suppose.
Podcast. It would make it seem significant.
Raghu, how you doing? Raghu?
Yeah, I had a hard day yesterday.
Okay. We're gonna pick you up. This is the way you pick it up, right? We just get absorbed in this, and before you know it, Krishna's gonna have you smiling. You know what, Raghunath? I was just thinking this morning.
Yeah.
I really, I'm at this stage in my life and my study where I'm able to hear these things and frame them in my own mind in a different context. And I was just realizing, if you go through all of the Puranas, you don't get child pastimes like this. You get maybe just a couple, like Like maybe you hear about a little something about Ganesh in his childhood or a little something about Kartikeya. You don't hear like Lord Shiva's childhood pastimes. You don't hear Durga's childhood pastimes. This is unique that you take one of the gods, quote unquote, quote unquote God,
The gods,
yeah,
right?
and
Krishna.
you go into this full on, thorough analysis of their childhood.
Mm.
Krishna is being presented as special and unique here.
Well, it's not
Yes.
because it's just Krishna, but it's how the devotees, the pure devotees, are reacting
Well,
to Krishna.
again,
this
where do you
charming
see
form.
that? Do you
Yeah.
see great, big, lengthy analysis of that with any of the other gods and goddesses? Nothing like this.
No, no, it's
Nothing
really
like
interesting, and like I said, it's more about us cultivating that mood of that devotee
Yeah,
and relating to Krishna in that unique, very, very unique form.
because he is
Bal
that.
Gopal. It's so interesting.
Bala Gopal.
So interesting, huh? Little baby.
Yeah.
Krishna. I love Krishna.
There are these videos. There's a lot of them going around. I
These
suppose.
AI videos of
No,
Krishna,
no.
just like
Oh, those are some of those are
they're
interesting.
so
I gotta admit.
good. It's like the
I gotta
perfection of
admit.
AI.
I gotta admit. No, what I was going to mention is there's these videos. I guess if you click on one, more come up. But there's these people like saying Kali and Krishna are one, and they go into this whole thing, and it's like this. It's it's anyway. I don't want to get too into it, but basically they base it off some shastra that doesn't even exist. Like this guy was given this whole thing about how Kali and Krishna are one and the same. And he's given this whole ridiculous analysis, and then he quotes like the shastra that's from, and then I actually looked it up. That shastra doesn't exist. Like nobody in the world has a copy of it. Like a few people refer to it, but there's nowhere you can find this. It's like, no. You know what? Where we figure out who Kali is and who Krishna is, if you want to figure them out, we're going to go to Vyasadeva's texts, right? And if we really want to understand Vyasadeva's texts most clearly, we're going to look at Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And then you're going to get a picture of who Kali is and who Krishna is and how to understand. Sure, there's a oneness in a sense, but there's a oneness of Krishna with all his different Shaktis and all his different energies,
Sure.
But Krishna is unique, and he is that origin of everything. And so now Vyasadeva is given this super thorough analysis of his life right from his very childhood. He's crawling around. And we're hearing detailed information about this because it's particularly significant.
Mara, any announcements?
Tomorrow at the Bhakti Garden in Philadelphia at 7 p.m. is a Bhakti Recovery Group meeting. That'll
That's
be
tomorrow.
online and in person. And there's more Bhakti Recovery Group meetings online if you go to bhaktirecoverygroup.com and click on the online meeting list.
All righty.
Yeah.
Wisdom of the Sages retreat, Super Soul Farm. Let's do this. Let's come together, watch the changing of the leaves.
Okay.
Registration's filling up.
Registration is actually going.
Yeah.
It's going down. We're looking forward to it. We're going to get some good kirtan going on this retreat too.
That'll
So
be
we're looking
nice.
forward to that.
Why don't we
Coming
get
together.
a Nunta up there? We got to get a Nunta up there. He's traveling a little bit more now, I see, right?
Yeah, that was so nice playing with him the other day.
If we go into if you approach him now, maybe we could swing this. He's a tough man to pin down. Last minute, we'll never get him. Think about it.
Let's get a chuta.
Get them both.
These guys are too powerful. They're so
They'll take over the whole thing.
they can. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Hey, I mentioned my Krishna miracle to you the other day, right? But I didn't share it on the show.
Yeah, what was it again?
I had this thing where, like, I'm not going to go, don't rush me because I'm not going to tell the whole story. You rush me along when I start to speak right now. But I had this, look at you looking all confused.
Tell me.
So you reached for your squirrel. But I had this thing where I had a whole run around. I had to go out to Brooklyn and come back. It's something that and in the end, it didn't even work out.
Yeah.
But what that made me do is now it's coming back late afternoon, early evening actually, before Janmashtami. And I said, tomorrow I do my seva for Radha Damodar in my home. I need to buy flowers for garlands. So instead of taking the train that I would normally take home, I took a train that drops me off in a different place, further on the west side. And I bought the flowers. And then I'm walking in that kind of island where 72nd Street meets Amsterdam Avenue.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Another place. Go ahead, keep going.
And I'm kind of alone on that island. At least I thought it was. And I'm about to cross the street, and I hear someone say Kastuba. And like at first, it was said really faintly, and like unsurely. And I thought maybe I'm just imagining it. And then I
Yeah.
heard it again, Kastuba. And I turned around, and there was a person there, a very nice person.
You told the story yesterday. I can't remember who it is. Who is it?
I didn't tell you. I
Oh,
told
you-
you. I told you a couple days ago. Yeah.
Oh, you told me. Okay, you didn't tell it on the show. Who was it?
It was a person that has been listening to the podcast
Oh, yeah.
for the past few months. Found it out of nowhere. It was just Googling spiritual podcasts. Maybe he was just Googling daily spiritual podcasts. You need to keep this daily in there. I don't know. But he was, and he came across, and he's been listening to, he said he's already up to episode like
400. You
over in the
said,
400s. Yeah. And he said, this podcast has changed my life like nothing else. This is complete, I was so happy that just somehow I got pulled out of my normal routine and dropped right into the path. And we had a little Krishna miracle meeting right there on the streets of New York.
Yeah, it's amazing when you put it out
And a nice
there.
connection.
Like
And
the people, it touches. Well, I was going up the elevator to the Bhakti Center, and an Indian family jumps on. I'm with my mom and my son, and this young Indian girl just goes, "Oh, I listened to the wisdom of the sages." I was like, "You're kidding."
You're kidding.
I mean, I know that's at the Bhakti Center, but still, it's we think there's a particular demographic, and there's not, because Krishna is all attractive. So you'll get a young Indian girl, you'll get an older man, you'll get some,
Krishna's all attractive.
you get punks, you get
Monks.
you get tattooists, you get sort of like very straight people, and yeah, it's a big interesting mix of people because Krishna is very attractive.
That's right. All right. Nugget time.
All right.
Who's this from, Margie?
Charles Bukowski.
Charles Bukowski. Okay.
Bukowski.
Have
This
you
is
read any of Charles Bukowski?
I have not. Have not.
I might have when I was a kid or something, but I really don't remember very. But I know he was, he was one of those.
Yeah, it was one of those. You're supposed to read it.
Not necessarily, but he was kind of like. Well, anyway, it comes across in this. He's got like a bit of a wild, intense style.
Yeah. This is excerpt from his poem "Roll the Dice."
Roll the dice. Even that title right there.
Yeah.
Roll the
On
dice.
the edge.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, and maybe even your mind.
Whoa.
Go all the way. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision. It could mean mockery. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There's no other feeling like that. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
Raghunath, thoughts on this? Losing
okay.
your mind, freezing on the park bench, going to jail. It's perfect.
I have to do it. I've got to go all the way for this. When it first started, I was like, yeah, work hard, really learn how to play the flute well, or really become a mathematician. No, freeze on a park bench. But I get it. But Bukowski's laying it down heavy. When you find something really meaningful or something really sacred,
Yeah.
you're not going to go deep into it or be transformed by it unless you're ready to sacrifice for it, right?
All right.
You can't be lukewarm with stuff. You've got to sacrifice. That's how you become great. He's talking about writing, but the principle is really universal. You don't become great at anything by dabbling.
Mm-hmm.
You got to bleed for it. And it's the same with, on our spiritual path, on our spiritual journey. It's like you might find some practice that feels nice. This is good. That gets you, and it's the same. It's the same in our spiritual life. We might stumble across a beautiful idea, a practice that makes sense to us, something that even helps us get through hard times. But there's more on the table than just like coping.
Mm-hmm.
The promise in spirituality, and especially in bhakti spirituality, is there's something much bigger. The promise of a complete transformation of heart, where love and gratitude flood in, and this concept of prema starts to awaken.
Yeah.
And that's not cheap. If we want it, we have to be willing to give up for it. So, Bukowski talks about giving up for girlfriends or wives and all that stuff. In certain yoga paths, renunciation might literally mean walking away from those relationships.
Right.
In
Jnana
bhakti,
yoga, become a sannyasi and walk
right?
away.
You give up this. People don't get that. People think yoga is you just do yoga. No. Real yoga systems means cutting all these things.
Mm-hmm.
In bhakti, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Instead, it means reorienting. What's the word? Reorienting those relationships, seeing them in connection with Source, with God, with Krishna. But make no mistake, there's still sacrifice.
Right.
A lot of comforts may have to go. Ego is the biggest one that's got to go. Illusion's got to go. And you've got to believe the payoff is worth it. The question is, do we have that faith? And if the answer is, if the answer is then, yeah, we'll experience that it's worth everything,
Right.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think you're right. I think, I believe that this is written in relation to his being a writer. Like, if you're going to be a writer, like, this is the kind of thing professors do, right? You get these crazy professors in college or something. I never went to college, but from what I've seen in movies and stuff, right? You get this crazy professor and they're just laying it out. If you want to be a writer, you got to be willing to, but the idea is because you love it, because it's so meaningful to you, because you've been so changed by other people's writings, that you're willing to, you see that this is, you find life there, and then so it becomes sacred in that sense. And there's something to the idea of safeguarding what is sacred, finding, rather than just getting a feeling for something is really special and important in life, and then just living life as if it's totally normal and just letting that thing kind of come and go and dealing with it casually. What I appreciate about what he's saying is, like, when you find something really important, you don't take it casually, you sacrifice for it. And if you really sacrifice for it, it's going to be worth it in the long run, And what this kind of I want to tie this in with was, it's something that we read a few days ago, but it was where Garga was this sage and astrologer who came to the house of Nanda, Krishna's father, and he gave this whole astrological reading on Krishna. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he was telling these incredible things that were a little bit going over Nanda's head, right?
Right. Your child will be, has been born in different colors in different yugas. Your child will be able to liberate. Yeah.
When Indra and all the demigods are like struggling, he incarnates and but he's a lot like Vishnu, it wasn't quite sinking in, but he kind of ended his thing by saying, he said, this child of yours is as good as Narayan, as good as Vishnu.
Mm-hmm.
In his transcendental qualities, opulence, name, fame, and influence, he's exactly like Narayan. And then he said this. He said, you should all raise this child very carefully and cautiously. And when I heard that, I was thinking, already in Krishna's birth, we're getting these kind of parallels of, like, Krishna appearing in this world, or Krishna appearing in, the mind or of Vasudeva, or the heart, or the womb of Devaki, or in the prison house, or in the home of Nanda. Krishna's appearing. And what is involved in Krishna's appearance? And you hear, all of these sons of Vasudeva had to die, and they all represented these, 6 different aspects of our lower nature and so on. The idea is that these kind of metaphoric kind of things are being brought up to say that Krishna's appearance is something very special, and you have to safeguard it. And so when he says, hey, this boy of yours, you should raise him very carefully and cautiously, we can, and you know, and I read some of the acharyas, some of the acharyas commentaries on that, and they're saying, like, he was saying you should protect him in every way with all of your soul, and that if you protect, if by being protected, your son will protect you from all troubles. And so when we receive Krishna in the form of whatever way we get it, right? If it's in the form of the Bhagavatam itself or the Bhagavad Gita, take it really serious, you know, like see it as sacred and live for it, you know? Like I know people that live for Bhagavad Gita, you know? Or if you get Krishna in the form of his name, you know, protect it very carefully and cautiously. You know, if you get a realization that I want my life to be given to Krishna, protect that realization. Don't let it become watered down by the silly, useless, petty things of this world. Protect it, you know. And
Hey, by the way, that leads me to a very important thing we were mentioning yesterday in the podcast.
what's that?
We were saying that on fasting days, which traditionally people just spend all day cooking and all day, you know, they sit down and eat, and then you got to take care of your body, then you got to take your next meal. So there's this Ekadasi and Janmashtami, where there are fasting days.
Right.
So you don't have to do any of that stuff. You just decide I'm going to eat fruit or I'm just going to fast totally. And it relieves, opens up so much more
Opens it up.
time.
Yeah.
And we were saying that the time is essential. We need time. We need some extra time. We're all looking for extra time.
Yeah.
And we say that time should be used for hearing and chanting and cultivating our affection towards God.
Right.
And so today's Ekadasi.
That's right.
And we were also saying how in this day and age, people cook less. The really way to open up more time is no social media. So I'm no scrolling, no phones, no nothing today.
Yeah, right there. Right.
I'm going to create, boom, give me some of that.
Yeah.
What do you say? So I don't want to see any text message from you today.
Oh.
No Instagram. Don't
give you a
send me
phone call?
memes today. Don't send me memes. I'm not interested.
I sent you 2 things
I'm not
yesterday.
going to look at them.
They were beautiful, and they were Krishna conscious. Totally.
Well, I'm not going to look at them because I'm not doing social media. I don't care how Krishna conscious
I
they are.
appreciate that, but
Okay, I'll see
maybe
them
a little
tomorrow, perhaps. If I
but
choose to go back to your ways, I'll see them tomorrow.
but my ways are like Krishna's ways. They're to remind you of Krishna. I go back to your ways.
You and your social media entanglement, World Wide Web.
I sent you some beautiful stuff yesterday, Raghunath.
I didn't look at it.
You did. You said, "What is this stuff?"
All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to fast.
It was right from Nandagram. It's from Krishna Murari Goswami.
Oh, I saw those. Yeah. I saw those.
All right. But in any case, that was my point, right? Like, here's.
But that was my point. So what do you say? No social media today. Are you in?
You're trying to push it on me.
Well, I want you to commit in front of this live audience.
I have some social media responsibilities today. But if you're saying you don't want me to scroll, I'll take that vow with you. I'm there with you. Okay. In other words, I have to work on something that's going to be posted today. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that's sort of like, okay, I'll eat grain, no grains and beans, but everything. That's like a potato garunga fast.
Okay.
If you don't know, like sometimes like in the temple that you're supposed to fast, but they'll say, but we're making all these other things that are not. It's got no grains and beans, but it's like richer than any of the other food. It takes a long time to cook. It's filled with like dairy and like potato garungas, potatoes, butter,
and sour cream,
turmeric, and you somehow call it a fast.
It's very delicious. Okay, but I'll work on that with you, Raghunath.
Okay.
All right. So, in any case, what do we get into now? Now we get to hear.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam madhuriyat. Before reciting our Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Yaśodā, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in class in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, we establish as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8, Text 32.
Raghunath,
Hmm?
this chapter is so great, right? We were just hearing first. We heard about Krishna crawling around in the mud, right? He thought, oh, these ladies are that's my mother. Oh no, it's not my mother, and he's terrified. And then he goes crawling through the mud back to his mother. Then we heard about him stealing. Yesterday it was all about stealing, right? He was stealing butter, stealing yogurt, lying about it. He was also lying.
Thieving.
But somehow his lying and his stealing was different. It was pleasing to everyone. It was so charming. It was flooding these people with feelings of ecstasy, yogic, high level, yogic, highest level, yogic ecstasy.
Mm-hmm.
And now today, we pick up with the next pastime, which what the chapter is entitled about, that Mother Yaśoda is going to look into the mouth of Krishna. He's up to trouble again, right? He's up to trouble again. That's how it starts. Hit it.
Right. One day, Krishna was playing with his small playmates, including Balaram, and other sons of the Gopas, that's
Yeah.
the cowherd men. All of his friends came together and lodged a complaint to his mother, Yashoda. Mother, they submitted, Krishna has eaten earth.
Everybody is complaining about Krishna.
Kids do that. They just put stuff in their mouths, stuff up their nose. They do that too.
They do.
Upon hearing this from Krishna's playmates, Mother Yasoda, who was always full of anxiety over Krishna's welfare, picked Krishna up with her hands to look in his mouth and chastise him. Her eyes fearful, she spoke to her son as follows. Dear Krishna, why are you so restless that you have eaten dirt in a solitary place? This complaint has been lodged against you by all your playmates, including your elder brother Balaram. How is this?
Why are you doing this? Everybody's saying you're doing it.
Lord Sri Krishna replied, my dear mother, I have never eaten dirt.
Never.
Lie. He's a liar. All my friends are complaining against me are liars. If you think they are being truthful, you can directly look into my mouth and examine it.
Okay.
Right?
They're
Mother
lying.
Yasoda
I think
challenged
he wasn't saying it heavy. I think he was like saying more like a little. I don't know why they're saying this about me.
They're lying.
Yeah.
Right. That's a great thing. You hit me. You hit me first. You hit me back. Mother Yasoda challenged Krishna. If you have not eaten earth, then open your mouth wide. Kids would do this. Little kids would do this. Open your mouth. If you have not eaten earth, then open your mouth wide. When challenged by his mother in this way, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda, to exhibit pastimes like a human child, opened his mouth.
Okay.
Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who was full of all opulences, did not disturb his mother's parental affection, his opulence was automatically displayed, for Krishna's opulence is never lost at any stage, but is manifest at the proper time.
Okay, he didn't disturb his mother's parental affection. I assume what that's saying is that even, because we haven't heard what she's going to see yet, but even what she sees somehow isn't enough to overpower her feelings of motherhood. Right? Because if you saw that the universe was inside your child's mouth,
You'd be like, what's the matter?
well, she
Right.
is like that, yeah, but she's not like, oh my God, this is God.
Sure.
She's like, what's going on with my son?
What's going on with my son? He's got some disease?
Yeah, that's exactly what she thinks. Is
know?
he sick or something?
When Krishna opened his mouth wide, by the order of Mother Yasoda, she saw within his mouth all moving and non-moving entities, outer space, and all directions, along with mountains, islands, oceans, the surface of the earth. It's like Google Earth, right? The blowing wind, fire, the moon, the stars. She saw Kaustubha. She saw the planetary systems. She saw Kaustuba's microphone. She saw wisdom of the sages. She saw planetary systems, water, light, air, sky, and creation by transformation of Ahankara. She also saw the senses, the mind, the perception. I don't even know how to see the senses. And the three experience. She saw the time allotted for the living entities. She saw natural instinct and the reactions of karma. How would you see all these things? And she saw desires and different varieties of bodies, moving and non-moving, seeing all these aspects of the cosmic manifestation along with herself and Vrindavan Dham. She became doubtful and fearful of her son's nature. Like, what's going on?
Okay, yeah. You know, let's fluff this out a little bit here, Raga. Because like I was saying,
Fluff it.
I read this now and I analyze it in ways that I haven't in the past, you know. But just really thinking about what's happening here, because the way what this sage Vyasadeva is doing is he's written all these books, and he wrote these books like the Vedas and the Upanishads. And those books, like the Vedas, they have the Purusha Shukta prayers in them, right? Amongst so many others. But let's take the Purusha Shukta prayers, which are talking about God. And they were saying that there's this Purusha, this original person, right? And they start, you know, they open up. These are chants that have been chanted for thousands of years. And still you go to any kind of Vedic ceremony and they chant the Purusha Shukta prayers. Sahasha, Shirsha, Purusha, right? Yeah. And they talk about how there's this Purusha, there's this original person who envelops the universe from all sides, and that the whole creation is woven out of his like immortal essence, and that the universe came into being from the presence of this being who remains in the background of it, and you know, that he created it all, that it's all being maintained by his energies. But we know that there's a person that does that, you know. Or if we go to the Upanishad or to the Vedānta Sūtra, you know, it's saying, you know, there's the absolute truth, and that absolute truth is that from which everything emanates. What Vyasa wants us to understand is that when I was talking about that Purusha, when I was talking about that absolute truth, you're all debating about who that is and what that is. Is it all the gods? Is it one God? Is it an energy? It's Krishna. I tried to tell you in the Bhagavad Gita, you didn't really get it. So now I'm going to go into a lot of detail about this. And I'm going to show you that even when Krishna was a little boy, that his mother looked into his mouth. And I'm going to tell you this in this most incredible way, because this story is going to be working on so many levels. One, it's going to be establishing that when I was talking about, you know, they call this being so many names in the Vedas and the Upanishads, you know, like Vishvatma, the soul of the universe, right? Or Vishva this, Vishva that, you know, always, you know, in relation to the universe, Vishvarupa. Yeah. So here we're seeing that the universe is inside Krishna, that he is that person, he is that original Purusha who envelops the universe from all sides. It's right in his tiny little mouth, you know. It's his energy that's maintaining the universe. And so, but it's coming out, you know, in those previous texts, it was like with this awe, and, you know, like all these sages chant those prayers with their palms folded, you know, in this very formal way. And here's Mother Yaśoda, and she's like, come, let me look in your mouth. Did you do something wrong? Bad boy, you know, right? And so here he is, not being presented as like Vishnu or like all powerful, but as like just an incredibly beautiful but naughty, silly, mischievous, problematic little boy that everybody's complaining about. But he's got the universe right in his mouth. It's Krishna all along. And so on that level, it's clever. It's tying us back to these earlier Vedic texts and giving us the conclusion. This is why this is the commentary on Vedānta Sūtra, because it's filling it all out and helping us understand what and who we were talking about when we had all those in all those earlier texts. And then it's going beyond that, because it's giving us this element of rasa, that when you realize that Krishna should be the object of my devotion. Then you could enter into these states of awareness where you experience the deepest bliss in love. And so Mother Yasoda's, she's entirely focused on the origin of the universe right now, more than any other yogi is. But she's feeling waves of ecstasy and love for Krishna, no matter what he's doing. It's always attractive. So now she's going to look in there, and she's seen. What does she see? She saw all the stuff that these texts talk about, like all these texts that break down the whole Sankhya thing, right? There's the three modes of material nature.
Desires,
the desires. There's the water, light, air, sky. You know, there's earth, water. There's all the
Right. And
Mahabhutas.
there's yogis that just study those things. They study those things to
analyze.
realize what we are and what we are not.
Yeah.
And these are all, even these very
Danny's-
subtle things like the modes of material nature, the desires, they're all subtle material things. They're all contained in a little baby's mouth.
and she
Right.
just
and
doesn't
those
know
are
what
like
to
for
make
great
of it.
people who study those, they're like deep philosophers, right?
Yeah, it's right
And
there.
now
yeah.
it's going to be
And that sweet little mouth.
in this sweet little mouth.
Open
All
it
right,
up.
let's get into this. Let's get into this.
Okay.
Mother Yasoda began to argue. You also get squirrels. Not if you. I get squirrels if I drift off in another interesting subject. But you
Interesting
get
or not
squirrels.
so interesting.
You get squirrels if you say something good, but you just keep beating that goodness.
Well, that's what we're supposed to do. It's called churning it. Turning it.
It's called chewing the flavor out of things. So I'm
No, you don't chew the flavor out of this.
Here's a deal though. This is a podcast. It's 2025. People have short attention spans. They're unlucky, unfortunate, and always misguided.
I think you have a short attention span, right?
I do. I'm a product of Kali Yuga. Therefore, my job is to keep it rolling. So your squirrel comes when you don't squirrel, but you chew it out so long that it's like, all right, let's get on with the next. We get it. That's very insightful, and it's good. And he could have stopped 4 paragraphs ago.
Maybe you should stop criticizing me.
I'm not criticizing. I'm critiquing. It's different. I'm not finding fault with it. I'm not finding
Yes,
fault
you are.
with
That's
you as
exactly
a
what you're
being.
doing.
I'm finding fault with the presentation because I want to keep it going. Keep the river. Don't dam up the river. Don't dam up the flow. There's a flow here. Okay?
Okay, we're gonna.
All right. But I love you. How about that? I love you. You're a good person. Therefore, Mother Yasoda began to argue within herself. Is this a dream? Mother Yasoda, a dramatic reading by Raghunath. Is this a dream? Or is it an illusory creation by the external energy? Has this been manifested by my own intelligence? Or is it some mystic power of my child?
She doesn't know what to make of it.
Therefore, let me surrender into the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offer my obeisance unto him. Who is beyond the conception of human speculation, the mind, the activities, the words, and arguments? Who is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation, by whom the entire cosmos is maintained, and by whom we can conceive of its existence? Let me simply offer my obeisances, for he is beyond my contemplation, speculation, and meditation. He is beyond all my material activities.
So she's not. There's an irony here, right?
Right.
She's not saying this about Krishna. She's saying this about Narayan. Right? She doesn't know. She's looking into Krishna's mouth.
Right.
And it's really saying, look, he's Narayan, right? Like the universe is inside him. But she's like saying, I don't know what to make of what's going on here with Krishna, but let me pray to Narayan.
Right.
because I'm just lost now.
Text 42. It is by the influence of the Supreme Lord's Maya that I am wrongly thinking that Nanda Maharaj is my husband,
Oh, wow.
that Krishna is my son. And because of that, I am the queen of Nanda Maharaj. All the wealth and all of the cows and all the calves are all my possessions. And all the cowherd men and their wives are my subjects. Actually, I'm also eternally subordinate to the Supreme Lord. He is my ultimate shelter.
So she's having like the kind of stuff that we try to do here on the podcast, right? It's like something in life shakes you up, and then you have to reflect on all that you're hearing in these sacred texts.
All that she's going through.
And realize these aren't my kids. This isn't my husband. This
Right,
isn't,
right.
you know, it's like,
Bring her in for a walk on Wednesday.
yeah.
So
You know, I
here's
had
Mother
this
Yasoda.
thing. Tell us what's going on in your life. Well, I looked at my kid's mouth the other day.
And I just saw everything, all of the elements. I saw God himself within, and I'm just like, what?
I was like, whoa. I didn't know. It really shook me up, and everything that we've been reading about here in the Bhagavatam, it really made me realize that this is true. That this is not
really
my
want to
child.
thank you guys for the podcast.
But that's what she's going through, right?
And
She's
she might
reflecting
show
on
up
this
at
stuff.
our Wisdom Sages retreat, Mother Yaśodā.
Yeah.
She's
But
registered.
yeah, she's reflecting on all that she's heard from the Vedic literature and about Lord Narayan, and realizing, look, Nanda's not my husband. This, Krishna's not my son.
Alrighty. Mother
how-
Yaśodā, by the grace of the Lord, could understand the real truth. But then again, the Supreme Master, by the influence of the internal potency, Yogamaya, inspired her to become absorbed in intense maternal affection for her son. Right? She goes back to that.
Why don't you read the commentary to this one? This should be interesting.
Yeah. It's going to go back and forth with this.
Yeah.
Like, he's my son. He's the universe. She's my little baby.
What's going on?
He's everything, including the gods. Purport. Although Mother Yaśodā understood the whole philosophy of life, at the next moment she was overwhelmed by affection for her son by the influence of Yogamaya.
So she just went from her Vedic knowledge kicked in, and then her divine motherly affection just overwhelmed that.
Unless she took care of her son Krishna, she thought, how could he be protected? She could not think otherwise, and thus she forgot all her philosophical speculations. This forgetfulness is described by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as being inspired by the influence of Yogamaya.
Mhm.
Materialistic persons are captivated by Mahamaya. Right? Mahamaya means illusion, gross illusion. It means, I think this Miss Mara here is a woman. She's not. She's not a woman. You
What?
are not a woman, Mara.
You're more than a woman.
No, Mahamaya means the material world makes us think we are the bodies. Our bodies have children. These children are mine. This is my home. But it's actually all transitory. All philosophers say that. Everything's transitory in this world, right? We all know this. This is nothing new. All you have to do is think a little deeply about it. But then there's this Yogamaya, which we think this Krishna, the absolute truth, is actually my son. This is like a high spiritual illusion.
So
which
both
we are
both have an
eager
element of illusion, but one is like, if I wanted to live as if I'm independent of Krishna, then Mahamaya deludes me into thinking I am independent of, and if I want to take the shelter of Krishna, to return to Krishna, to reconnect with Krishna, then Mahamaya can have me so connected that I've forgotten Krishna's God. And I'm loving him like here she's loving him like a
Did you ever examine your spiritual life and you go, you're thinking like this is going to be an easy run. I'm just going to chant Hare Krishna. And then you realize, I need many, many more births to get to the top of this game.
Well,
you ever do that like that?
I once
get like I am not ready for.
I've had feelings like that when I read Brihad Bhagavatamrita, because it's like you read that book, and it on one hand it's saying like just by chanting this mantra it can deliver you like instantly, and then it's also you're hearing like the life of Gopakumara, who's going through like his journey through the universe and then through Vaikuntha and into Goloka. It's an incredibly long journey. Like, it's going on for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
I know. And this whole lifetime, yeah.
And so I asked Niranjan Swami, who's like, that book is one of his great inspirations.
Yeah.
And I said, sometimes, and not only do we hear, but sometimes we feel like we're just moments away from entering into eternity, right? And sometimes it seems like we've got an eternity left in this world, like birth after it could take so many births. Yeah. And I said, what do you make of that? And he said, I just accepted that somehow there's truth in both of them, like even the path of bhakti, it could seem like this could take a very long time, and then it could be like it's going to take nothing. He said, somehow they're both true,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
just like
this world is mysterious.
I know. yesterday I was just really like, man, I am so broken. I know so much. I read this stuff every day. I have a disciplined time when I read, when I chant, when I pray. But it's just like there's just an attraction to the mundane. You know what I mean? It's almost like, and then I see these people who are young devotees. They grow up devotees. This generation, they grow up devotees, and they're just fixed in bhakti, and they've never performed what we would call sinful activities, and they just like it's. You can't say they surpass you. It's like they were way ahead of you from previous births. And you just, I think when you practice while you think, I'm doing pretty good now. I'm getting my footing now. I'm getting a good pace. But you don't realize, like, you don't get it. You are so at the back of the line, sir. You ever do that, stand on a line at Disneyland or something? You're like, hey, we're almost there. And then you turn a corner or at security. Like at security at JFK, you're like,
We're
all
not
right,
taking
we're
this
almost at
line
the front,
anymore.
and you realize, wait a second, there's thousands of more people ahead of me.
Yeah.
That's sort of where I'm at today.
Okay, we'll read a little bit more and you'll feel better.
Huh?
This next verse is very beautiful. Read the next verse in the commentary. Short. Immediately forgetting
Yogamaya's illusion that Krishna has shown the universal form within his mouth, Mother Yaśodā took her son on her lap as before, feeling increased affection in her heart for her transcendental child.
There you go. All these leelas are to increase the intensity of the feelings that we have for Krishna. They're designed that way. All right. Purport.
Mother Yaśodā regarded the vision of the universal form within Krishna's mouth as an arrangement of Yogamaya, like a dream. As one forgets everything after a dream. True, huh?
Yeah.
Mother Yaśodā immediately forgot this entire incident.
Poof, it was gone. She
It's
saw the
amazing.
universe in his mouth.
It's so amazing. As her natural feeling of affection increased, she decided to herself, now let this incident be forgotten. I do not mind. Here is my son. Let me kiss him.
No.
Isn't it amazing that this whole you're not going to even remember me when you die. Do you know that?
Raghu, he's gone.
No, you know what I mean? It's like you go to bed at night. You don't even remember me at night.
Nah. Well, sometimes maybe.
Maybe. Sometimes you dream about me. But I'm just saying, it's over. This whole lifetime, with all its joy, pain, loss, wonders, addictive behavior, pleasures, birth of a child, it's over like that in a moment. Over like that in a moment, and we won't even remember it. And if we do have some memory as we go to our next life, our new mother will say, oh, you're just talking about some imaginary person, like parents do when you're a 4-year-old. I have another mother. And then the new mother will be like, oh, your imaginary friends. Oh, Raghunath, I had a daddy and mommy, and I was in love, and I had a home. No, that's just your imaginary friends. We're your real parents.
Okay, next text.
I'm depressed.
You know where you are?
Got to get me high again here. Goes to down.
Let's 46.
46. No, we're 45. The glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are studied through the 3 Vedas,
Okay.
the Upanishads, the literature of Sankhya Yoga, and other Vaishnava literature. Yet, Mother Yaśodā considered that Supreme Person her ordinary child.
Oh boy, I bet the commentary
funny,
on
huh?
this is great.
So interesting.
Why don't we read this commentary? Probably don't really have time for it, but I bet it's good.
As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, right? This is a good verse to learn. If you like learning Bhagavad Gita verses, this is a good one. The purpose of
do we have Karuna here?
pause. You got to be on this, Kostuba. You're going to invite somebody on the show. You got to see their face.
Look for
This is.
Don't-
You gotta be
don't-
quick.
I don't
This
need
is
your
Kali Yuga. You
rules,
got
all right?
people's
I don't play
attention.
by
If
your
you said, "Do
rules."
we have Karuna here?" and you wait a pause for 5 seconds, you're going to lose like 10 viewers right there.
Well, I'm just playing by my own rules. I'm not going to live in your little box that you create for me. All right, Mr. Power Man over here. I don't play by your rules.
Not a power man. I'm just trying to read the room. Karuna is
We
here.
have her here.
We have her here.
You see?
Yes.
Hey, Karuna.
Hey, Karuna, how are you?
Incredible. Good.
We have
You still
Bhagavat-
like us, Karuna, as you're becoming a tweeny bopper?
Yes.
Birthday's coming up.
All right. You still into Wisdom of Sage because we don't see your face so much around.
I sleep in.
Oh,
in.
okay,
Now,
interesting.
what's going on with that?
I'm trying to get as much rest before I start school, and I have to wake up early.
Yeah, you know
Okay.
sleeping's Maya, don't you? I'm from
Do
the
you-
old school.
Do you listen to the show later in the day?
No, because I'm busy.
Oh,
Mom-
see?
Okay,
She
Mom
we're not
outgrew us.
offended.
She outgrew us.
We're not offended.
When mom listens to it, sometimes I do also.
Okay, that's good.
You know
Well,
what,
then-
Karuna? You're a good girl. We love
love
you.
you no matter what.
And we think about you on a regular basis. How about that?
Okay.
But the question is, are you remembering your shlokas?
15.
15, you can hit it?
Sarvasachaham hridisane vista matasmate jnanamapo hridamcha vidarshya sarvadahamaya vedyo vedanta vede vichaham.
She still
That
has
is a
it?
good one. That is a good one. You still got it. Karuna,
Still
get
got
out
it.
of here. You're wonderful.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Now, maybe Maduri can check in every morning, though. Make sure she's listening,
When
okay?
I come say hi. Say hi about the videos on.
Your videos
Hi.
Hi.
are... Harbo.
Okay. I'm going to give this.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Bo, guys.
Because your camera's not on. All right.
Ready?
That was 15.
That was 15.
We'll pick up this commentary tomorrow.
Thank you, Karuna. Thank you, Maduri. Thank you, Beirut.
They're not in Beirut anymore, though, now.
Oh, okay. They got to change their thumbnail.
Bucky
Isn't it weird
Canada.
that we say thumbnail now? Like it's we're just creating words. Like how many words do we create a year?
I don't know if I create any.
Why can't we hear Kastuba anymore?
I'm here. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
we hear him.
All right. Okay, Mara.
You're
what are
freaking
your
out.
Takeaways?
Left and right. Why do we create so many words? Why can't we hear Kastuba? What is going on? Get off of my lawn.
All right. Krishna is all attractive.
Yes.
Go all the way.
All the way.
You have to be ready to sacrifice for greatness.
Do it.
Prema isn't cheap.
That's right.
You don't become great by dabbling.
Don't dabble. Dive. Don't dab. See, I'm good at
That's
these things.
good.
Don't dabble. Dive.
That's good.
Don't stick your toe in the water. Dive in.
Very good, Raghunath. Very good.
Safeguard the sacred.
Put it in the safe.
Protect Krishna with all your soul, and he'll protect us from the troubles.
Protect little Krishna. See, it is you, Kastuba. Huh?
I don't know.
Raghunath's crazy. Raghunath's losing his mind. No, your mic
How's
is screwing
this?
up.
Is this better?
That's better.
Something's wrong with the connection. What's with that? Maybe I gotta get a
need
new
a new
cable.
cord.
Maybe you need a new mic cord. That happens to me all the time on stage.
That's because you do that thing where you drape the microphone over your shoulder. Like
Yeah, it's a cool look, man.
that's your
You making
signature
fun of my
thing.
stage performance?
That's your signature thing. You throw that microphone over your shoulder and kind of let it hang there.
Let it hang.
All the Leela is intended to increase our affection for Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This whole lifetime is over in a moment, and we won't even remember it.
Bling.
Isn't it weird? I'm not gonna remember you. I love you, Mara, but I'm not gonna remember you. It's not. Don't blame me for it. You're not gonna remember me.
I'm not blaming you.
Nobody blamed you, Raghunath. Nobody blamed you.
Even
And
people that you think are gonna remember each other, like Lori and the Chief, right? They're not gonna remember,
They might.
or they're just gonna like see like there's something about him. There's something about her. I met this person on the street that we had some magical connect. Like in kindergarten, they're sitting there looking at each other. They can't figure out who is this person. Somehow the cluster of souls will be born as brother and sister, father and mother.
Maybe-
Something will happen traveling to their next life.
Well, like Dhruva, he was there on the plane. Oh, there's your mother. She's on the plane right next door. You know,
right?
There could be
right.
things like that.
Or like you and me, Kastuba, in our
Yeah.
previous life. It's like, I was your father, you know what I mean? And you're my son. Or, you know, you were my child. I was nursing you, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I had to go there. I knew you would.
yeah, you knew he was going to go there. You need to laugh.
By the way, Karuna is asking about is there sweet baby Krishna today? This is how you have to reach her now, Raghunath.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that.
Why don't you do that?
No,
Think about it.
I'm going for a bike ride. I thought about it.
Okay. I'm not going to pressure you or anything.
You are right now.
No, I'm not.
Shame. I'm not playing your shame game.
I wasn't shaming you. I very intentionally said I'm not going to push you.
Which is a push in itself.
You see
And
that? And
be like Mother Yaśoda. Reflect on Shastra and surrender when life shakes you up.
there we go. Mara, he kind of like got out of his grump funk, but he's back in it by the end of the show.
We broke out of it like as soon as we started.
What do you think that cluster theory? Like, I know this person from a previous life. I feel like I know them. Is that the cluster theory of souls traveling together, or is it lust? Like, oh, I know him. I feel like we have a deep connection.
Know each other.
It could just be lust.
I don't think that.
You know what I mean? Like, I think she's pretty. I think we have a spiritual connection.
Like if your daughter came in with like a Hell's Angel, she says, "Dad, I know him from a previous life. I can feel it." What would you say?
Get that Hell's Angel out of the house. Pulls out a gun.
Don't talk to him anymore. That was last life.
Leave in your last life.
Leave it in the last life.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks for cheering me up.